Hi everyone. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please, you can, sir.
Okay, let me do that. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, very well, perfectly, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I would say good morning, good afternoon, good evening from everyone to everyone from different parts of the world where you're joining from. Um, I am I feel blessed already to have listened to all the sessions. Shockingly, I was taking notes during Chido's session because he inspired me. And I must say, it resonates for me because we're in a world where successful people hardly tell their stories presently. And I'm one person that I believe me, whatever I am today is my stories. And anyone close to me know that I don't hide my stories a lot. I'm very fast to say anything about me. So thank you very much for everyone. I will quickly jump into the slides. So I'm supposed to be talking about living your career with purpose. You already have seen my bio, so I won't want to say too much, but I am extremely passionate about people. I I live and groom people for a living. I drive management, I drive structure, I drive administration for a living. And that's what I've been doing for almost 15 years of my life in the workforce. So I will just jump into the slides because of the limited time. And if you want have any questions as Esther, I would leave you to drive that. So first, I would want to start. I have broken down the different terms, connected to the topic I'm talking about. Leadership, yeah, leader. How do you driving your career? So to lead is to influence, inspire, and motivate towards the attainment of your objective, towards the attainment of an objective. So how well do you inspire this career you want to lead? How do you motivate it? That's what leadership is about. Career for me, this is the job taken for a significant period of a person's life and with opportunities for progress. Let's take note of that. Significant period of a person's life and with opportunities for progress. So there has to be progress involved if you are so concerned about the fact that you are driving a career. The final one here is purpose. This is the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. So when you say what's the purpose of your career, the reason why you are doing it, why are you doing it? Why was it created? Or why is that thing existing? That's the definition of purpose there. So I would just jump right in to take some notes and some nuggets I would share. I see that the other people have also been throwing nuggets. I would just share from my own personal experience, nuggets that have helped me. If you see from my profile, I've transited across different industries, especially for someone who read English, as a first degree. I've transited across different industries, from communication to oil and gas. Now I'm in management consulting, and I'm in the big tree, of the world. So it means that I have transited. I am not just in any form of the industry, but at the best of the industry. So my first nugget here will be you are the only person that understands your career focus and progression. Very clear. Don't let any other people's opinion change and confuse your dreams and aspirations. My people, let me tell you the truth. Don't let anybody confuse you. You are the only person who understands what you are doing. You are the only person who understands why you are doing what you are doing. So stay focused on it and understand the progression in it. Don't let anybody's opinion about you change or confuse your dreams and aspirations. That's the first I will drop. Secondly, will be this one is very close to me. Identify a career path you have a deep passion for and can grow in long term. and you can grow in long term. Identify a career path that you have a deep passion for. If it's makeup, if it's music, if it's healthcare, a career that you can beat your chest that you have a passion for, and you can grow in long term. Always feel free to evaluate your landmarks every 5 years as you progress. Now, when I mean evaluate your landmarks, if you get yourself involved in something, check yourself or the progression of how well you've done after 5 years to say, okay, is this working for me? Should I be trying something else? Can I try this course? Can I try something additional? We're in a generation where things are evolving very fast. So it's very important that you do that. Next for me will be, with new technology and innovations, there will always be new areas to explore within your career. With new technology and innovations, there will always be new areas to explore within your career. Be flexible enough to adapt to change and test new waters within your career space. So what I'm trying to say here is, I started out in human resource, and human resource, the general human resource, when I came into human resource, was personnel management, recruiting, the core of people management. But presently, I tell people that I am a people operations expert because human resource has expanded beyond that, and technology is now in it. We have data analytics in humans. We have innovations coming into human resource in terms of people doing people reviews. We have different technology improvisation. We have different terms of employees right now. COVID has come, and with post-COVID, now we have people who want to do flexible work, people who want to do part-time work. We have contract staffs who do half work and don't want to work full-time. And then all of these you have to be able to evolve. So you need to be able to explore new aspects of your career. So don't just sit in one place and say, this is the area I am good at. Be open to learn, be open to test new waters. That's what I'm trying to say. Test new waters within your career space. Now, I hear the financial service industry are bringing in robots to work in the banking hall, robots to work in the place. That's to show that human resource has to cater for this inhuman, like people that are not breathing. Robots don't breathe. So we need to also create a platform for them and create how they can work vis-a-vis human beings in the workplace. All of this is something that we're thinking about in your career. And these are things that you need to also be flexible about. So be open to test new dimensions, be open to test new areas, and be open to venture into new things. You may not know that you have something in there if you don't try it. That's one thing I learned. Next for me will be, find every task you are given. Now I'm talking to people who have a career already. So you are leading your career to have purpose. So I would say, find every task you are given at the workplace as an opportunity to learn and showcase your innate talents. Every task you are given. Now, on the other end, my other note there says, it may not be what you would typically do, but be open-minded enough to challenge your thinking pattern. Does it make sense? Be open-minded to challenge your thinking pattern. I remember when I was in advertising, I was heading human resource, and the head of media liked me to always be in the room when it comes to media planning and media, like coming up with concepts for an advert. And I noticed once, because we are in a management meeting, I'd given him an idea for a client that, okay, why don't you try this with this client? Why don't you think this slogan like this? Tell your team, let's discuss this. And then from there on, he says, oh, Charles must be in our brainstorming session. And I sat once or twice in their brainstorming session. And then I remember after 3 months sitting with them, the CEO says, I feel the media team, Charles needs to be here. We need Charles to take over HR and media. And I freaked out. I was like, no, why? And he says he knows how I light up the room when clients come in and I'm explaining an idea or a concept for an advert. That even the head of media cannot explain it the way I would explain it. And with so much passion, talking about the slogan, talking about how the advert is going to go, talking about the concept of the models we want to use, So I just got to discover that everything people for me was naturally going to come out. So if I had not tried myself in that opportunity, if I had said, no, they employed me for human resources, how can I be doing media? I would not have enjoyed that and I would not have discovered that part of me. So today, even in consulting, when it comes to events or, retreats or anything, management, different levels, any part of the world, I am always part of the concept generation because they know I would always think outside the box. So be very open-minded to try out new things. That's what I would advise you. Next for me will be proactive enough to seek feedback. My people, I know it's a big one for us, especially my generation, Seek feedback from those around you as they would let you know your blind sides. Be proactive. That's you. When I mean be proactive, you be the one going to seek it. Be proactive enough to seek feedback from those around you. They would let you know your blind sides. Be receptive about all they will tell you and work on being a better version. So before I came into the international workspace, I remember when I was working in the Nigerian companies, it was a case where if you give someone feedback, he doesn't like me, because I'm Yoruba, because we don't speak the same language. I get that comment a lot. The CEO does not because he's Igbo, And I'm like, no, it's not a culture thing. It's not a religion thing. I remember I worked with the CEO who was very, very strong, is Muslim, and he liked me a lot. And I remember we had to drive change. And I told him, if I'm going to drive change, I would need you to be the cheapest change agent. So I need you to be able to slow down on some of these religious, and we agreed. So he started saying, is whatever HR says we're going to just abide by. So if I told him, oh, we need business to grow like this, we need to tone down on the religious thing. Yeah, we are here for business, And it helped us a lot. He received feedback. I'm the kind of person that I've gotten to a level in my career where I can talk to any CEO. I've worked with white, black, Caucasian, European. So you don't have two heads. I do executive coaching a lot. So it's just to tell them, this is the area I think you can work on. This is what we think will be better for us. This is why the turnover is like this. And one thing CEOs like about me, even when I do, work for them, is the fact that I will always give them very constructive feedback. This is the way we can do this. Why don't you look at it this way? From my experience working for the past, this is what I think. Why don't we look at people like this? So feedback, be very proactive, collect feedback. And I can tell you, I also get feedback I run a team, I run the entire operations for Africa. So I run teams in South Africa in different countries, and I don't get to meet with I don't work with them because I have to be in different parts of the world. And I always chat, I could just Slack them or Skype them to say, what do you think about this? How was my last meeting? How did I talk in our last catch-up? Is there something I need to work on? Do you think my emotions came out too much? Was I sounding too harsh? I chat like that. I can always want to check feedbacks. So be receptive enough. And when they tell me those feedbacks, I won't just be defensive. I know Nigerians can be very defensive. Oh, no, this is not what I was trying to say. I was trying to explain, no. I relax and take a step back and say, okay, maybe I would have improved this way. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. I would work on this way. So let's be very receptive. Next, I would say this is one thing that has made me one of my secrets. Collaborations rule the world of work. Feel free to learn from others and get involved in what they may be doing. My people, get involved in what they may be doing. Collaborations. If you see someone is doing well in this and you are interested in it, there's no shame in saying, guy, Alpha, I see this is going on well. How can I be? You understand? How can I learn? I note that it must be something you genuinely want to learn. I remember I'd been in human resource for a while, and just I think it was post-COVID or before COVID, we just started hearing this AI, data analytics, and I was telling myself, me that I was running away from math, so I'm not a math person like that. And I remember I spoke to one of my mentors, and then he was like, Charlie, you can do it, just go, just hit it, And then I reached out to a mentee, someone that is very young, someone that's, he never expected. I said, come and teach me. We should have a session on this. Just come and, let's sit down and let's break down. I want to understand this. And he was very interested. He was very happy about it. And I can tell you, that was one of the best learning sessions, even though I still paid for more sessions in data analytics. But, that gave me a background where I could now sit down with my team and say, this is how to analyze. So in management meetings, I could also just bring a Python and analyze everything. Okay, this is the attrition rate. This is what we're looking at. This is how we can review, how do I put it? You can review daily delivery rate over monthly delivery rates. This is the turnover of the kind of stuff we should be looking at in 2024. All of this is what helps. So please be open to learn. There's no age you can stop learning, I can tell you. And collaborations, as I stressed, be happy to collaborate. The fact that I'm here today is because I believe in Samuel, and I believe in his dreams, and I believe in everything he stands for. So every time he's always reached out to say, oh, let's do this. I've also disturbed him before. I'm like, come and teach me this thing. And he's always happy to jump and say, okay, I think I can do this. So collaborations for me is what has helped me a lot. Next for me will be identify high performers within your workforce and build a productive relationship with them. Be very proactive in asking them smart questions of how they deliver quality results at their job, my people. Be very proactive in asking. I put the smart there in clause because we need to think, process before you ask. I was talking to in the big tree, we're very big on mentorship. We're very big on development of people. And I remember I was talking to someone. Someone was saying, well, we're analyzing people who have helped, who has benefited from our mentorship program. And I shared my experience. And then someone in my office, in the Lagos office with me, reached out and was like, Charles, I thought I was your mentee. And I'm like, what makes you think you're my mentee? And then he says, boy, I come to you every day. We eat together. You take me to the canteen. And I'm like, do you ask me very smart questions that you think would help you grow? And that stuck with him that, wow. So I've been with someone who could help me, but I was not asking the questions I'm supposed to be asking. Does it make sense? So when we are around people that you feel you want to get something from, ask very proactive, ask smart questions that they can help you deliver on. And I put a note under there. It may be someone in a lower cadre than you. My people, very clear. Someone in a lower cadre. I learn from anyone around me in the office. I've gone to even the corporates before, a corporate, and I'm like, come. I saw you do something one day in a meeting and can you come and teach me how you did that thing? I want to, in our next management meeting, I want to be able to do it, And she was very excited. She was like, oh, Mr. Charles, you came? I'm like, yes. I want to see how you do that, And she was impressed and she taught me. And that's because I wanted to learn. So I can tell you, pick high performance, pick people that are doing well and collaborate with them, stick with them. ask them questions on how they do this and learn from them. My next one will be, this is very key for me. Have someone you can be accountable to at every point of your career journey. Have someone you can be accountable to. The place of career mentors are very important as they can help you in making tough decisions. Now, I was just telling, I think I was talking to someone yesterday or so, and I was telling the person, I have someone who used to be my mentee, but I take him very close to me now as someone who, because of his career progression so far, I take his words very serious to me because he's someone that makes me, he gives me words that make me think. So if I want to make a career decision, maybe to take on a new role, or presently my role has been expanding a lot, and they just added some more locations. I just added more regions to my expand. And I remember now I'm handling South Africa, and I had to call someone who had worked in the South Africa space, and I was like, come, what's it about the people? I want to understand the people dynamics. How do they think? What's the approach I should be using? I've come to understand that there's this building walls around them, not like my West African brothers that can be a bit open, And then it says, okay, this is how you can approach them. So have career mentors, have people that can help you, have people that can help you process and they can help you make tough decisions faster. That's the word. So career mentors are people who you can easily just disturb. I have a lot of mentees, formal and informal, from work, anywhere, but I can beat my chest that there are some of my mentees that can call me 12 midnight and say, Charles, we need to talk. This is happening, blah, 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 blah. And I would stand up for them. That's because of the kind of relationship we built. And that's how much I know they value me. So I have built this value. So you need to learn and cultivate how that happens, how that works. Okay, I think that's the end for me. Thank you for listening. You can ask me any questions now. Esther, merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that powerful set. Please, can we give an applause to our speaker? Please, can we give him a round of applause? And thank you, Mr. Charles. Please, can we drop some of the questions that we have, or what do you think resonates so much with you? For me, like I always say, my note is full. Like, oh my God, these are gems. This is so powerful. This is what some people are paying huge amount of money for to learn this. But thank you so much, sir, for being a well of wisdom and dishing this out to us. Please, if you have questions, let us know so that we can wrap up tonight, because our time is already fast spent, but this is so worth it. I mean, if we spend 5 hours here today, this is so worth it, because I'm sure this is something you will not forget in your life. What has resonated with you, please, you can say it in the chat box. Thank you for the inside leader, Charles. So I'm always blessed listening to you, sir. I have got enough things to share with my colleagues, because this has motivated me to want to relate more with my colleagues. So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. This is a valuable. Many people are getting so much from this. Are very insightful. Thank you, Mr. Charles. So please, can we drop our questions? If we have any questions for Mr. Charles, please, let's drop it. He said we must be open to learn. And is that opening to learn and collaborate for me? And be relational with people of different spheres of income, because we have to just communicate with people. Okay, somebody said, you mentioned, have you ever rejected someone who wanted to be your mentee, and what do you look out for in a mentee? Very, very important, Sam. Okay, before we go to the second one, sir, please, have you ever rejected someone who wanted to be your mentee, and what do you look out for from a mentee? Yes, sir.
I don't reject anyone, truthfully, because I don't know where the person is coming from. But one thing about me is it may just be 1 or 2 conversations with the person, and internally, I'd already closed my mind that this is not going to go far. So I'll go to the next question. What do I look out for in a mentee?
Yes.
I thought I was having a problem with that because I had to talk to some of my people in my level. I am an executive in the CIPM, in globally, and then I was talking to some of my people who are also HR managers and group HR managers, and we're discussing, and I was like, what do you look out for in a mentee? And then I discovered these are the key things I look out for. One is someone who is passionate about growth. So I have some people that don't even say, "Oh, Charles, I want to be your mentor," but I want you to be my mentor. But every now and then they chat me up. They're saying, "Charles, I'm thinking of this job. I'm thinking of this training. How do you think this training would benefit me?" So I review the training, I review the package, and I'm like, "This will really help you. I remember you're thinking of going into marketing. All of this. As you ask questions, I get to understand that you're passionate." Now I have very young strangers who chat me up on LinkedIn every day and say, "Sir, I'm thinking of moving into management consulting. What advice can you give me?" And blah, blah, blah. And then I jump into answering them. I'm very nice. So I would respond and explain and say, these are links for where you could learn from. I've been in management consulting for about 8 years. I've worked with the big trees for over 7 years. I know what it is. This is it. And then I can go detail. Now, what will I look out for? One is passion for growth. Two, for me, will be for every nugget I'm giving. Yeah, I understand there's a listening personality somewhere. There are some people that don't just listen. But for every word I'm saying, I know that the person is connecting. I'm a teacher, so I'm someone that I could break down words by. So for every word, if I see that the person is an active listener, that's one thing I know I love about Samuel. There's nothing I tell Samuel when we talk. He's always like, okay, I think we should. And he takes it. I know he's listening. So that's one thing. You must be someone that is passionate about listening. And thirdly, for me, finally, I would say someone who that is not afraid to make mistakes. So you must be vulnerable. I'm that kind of person. You must be vulnerable to say, I messed up here, Charles. This happened at work today. I got scolded for this and that, and then we think through it. So vulnerability for me, because I know vulnerability is not part of our Nigerian culture. You must be vulnerable. You must be ready to open up to, oh, I messed up. Listening and be passionate about growth. Let me feel it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. The person got clarity about that already. Please let us know if you've gotten that. And as someone said, you mentioned have a specific career path. What if the career path does not look promising in the next few years? Okay.
Great question.
Over to you. Someone for that. Yes. Sorry? Yeah, someone is asking for clarity about. Thank you.
Like if you start a career path and it's not looking promising, what you should do, right? That's what the person is saying.
Yes.
So if I was to answer that question, I clearly stated I read English. So for someone who read English, if those days in my time, you say if you read English, you must be a teacher or you will end up in broadcasting, But for me, I started out in communication and advertising. So in advertising, I did not even start out in human resource. I was doing copywriting. I was a public relations person. And then from there, what brought me into human resource? I will tell you my story. What brought me into human resource? I got into human resources when I came into oil and gas. I was working in corporate affairs, and I'd gotten to the peak of my writing. Like I was handling the company magazine. So the head of corporate affairs would say, Charles, go for management meetings, sit with the CEO, and analyze all the reports that we need to put in the next report, like the magazine. And I remember the human resource managers and the team of human resource people just walk into the room looking very proud and arrogant. And I told myself, what is it about these people? Why do they always look very arrogant? And then I told myself, Charles, you're still young, bro. You can do something in this human resource. So I went home that day, and I remember my father also is a human resource manager. He was in the civil service sector. And then I had a chat with him. And then I was like, how do I go about it? He says, okay, talk to these people. And then I started CIPM. And I can tell you, I cleared all my papers in one go, one after the other like that. And then during the courses, I discovered I had deep passion for people. I loved making people happy. All the writing I was doing was to make people happy. I have a blog, I used to write short stories, all of that was to make people happy. So that was what brought me into human resource. And then today I have grown in human resource and I head the team in Africa. And now I head entire operations. So that's to show that career can transit. But one thing I would advise you, as I put in my slide, evaluate your landmark. So after 2, 3 years, 5 years is even too long now. 2 years, my sister and brother, evaluate, is this making sense for me? Can I add one course to it to move? And soft skills, talk to me. I can tell you the next career place you can move to if it's not working where you are. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. That is the key factor for me to learn. You must evaluate the point where you are constantly, because the world is evolving. The world is evolving. Thank you so much for bringing clarity to that, sir.
There's so many questions.
Yes, we have so many questions. Take the ones we can within our time. I'm saying, how are you able to initiate conversation with great people to become mentors? Yes, sir.
It's as good as hello, hi. I see very bold people now on LinkedIn, very young, bold guys who reach out and say, hi, good afternoon, sir. I'm very interested about your profile. I'm just thinking about chatting about 1 or 2 things. And I'm very, if the approach is looking enticing for me, it's approach for me. You don't just send me, oh, hello, good afternoon. I want to join your company. No. Or no, I want to, no, hello. So there's an approach. So if I see that, I can even say, oh, this is my number, call me, let's talk. Or this is my WhatsApp number, let's chat. I'm like that kind of person. So it's the approach for me. And I have approached and talked to great people all over the world that way. I think maybe someone should be answering this since he makes a lot of friends on LinkedIn. Yes, the next one.
Okay. Thank you for that. I think the next question says, does your mentee have to have a background related to your field? Your
No.
field,
The mentee, as I said, it just needs to be passionate about growth. I have mentees who are in accounting. I have mentees who are in sales. I have mentees who are auditors. They are all over the world. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Another I would say, what of someone who works as HR and the person is doing like ICANN, the path isn't sure of a career path.
I don't understand that question.
Exactly. Please, can you bring clarity more to your questions? We'll go to the next one. Say, okay, someone said, Mr. Chijo says that this was a great session. Mr. Charles, I gotta run now. Okay, I'm gonna do. Thank you so much, sir, for being a blessing to us as well. Someone said, what do you do when you have too many conflicting passions? Okay, this is a very interesting.
I think it will be better for me to understand the passions first, because one thing I've learned is to be able to marry all the passions together. There's a way I marry all of them. I told you I write. I also am a great speaker. I also love people. I've been able to marry all of them together, and now I do everything in human resource. So even my CEO sometimes would leave me to write very strong emails to the entire management globally. He would say, Charles can handle this because he knows I have the power of language and I can deliver it.
Oh, wow. That's so awesome. Thank you, sir. Because we just take the last 2. He said, someone said, did your basic education and your social group while growing up influence your career journey in any way? Then the last one just said, how do you settle conflict mentors in case there's one? So, sir, did your basic education? Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Did my basic education and social group while growing up influence your career journey?
Anyway.
Basic education, yes, we all went to primary, secondary school, university. Well, for someone like me, I was a pure art student. Pure arts to the blood, like literature, drama, everything, So I even performed in the theater for a long of years. I was writing scripts and all. So I would say, did it influence my career journey? I would say no, in the sense that I, at some point, pivoted into human resource people management. And I would say that it was about discovering in me inside. So it was in my final year, that I discovered that, there's a part of Charles where that was just beyond performance. There's a part of Charles where I noticed naturally I could speak to people and move them from point A to point B in their career, in their mental states. So that was where I started thinking about where I wanted to be. So don't feel, oh, because you went to, or your career background, you only have, you went to a polytechnic. I've seen some people who tell me, my mentees say, I know it's polytechnic I have, oh, I didn't go to the best university, blah, 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 because you went, no. That doesn't limit you. It just have a way of speaking to people who understand where you want to get to and can explain that pathway for you. So clarity makes it all. Yes. The last question quickly is, how do you settle conflict with mentors in case there is one? Settle conflicts. Well, it depends on, well, I've had a friend who is the mentor who she even had to block a mentee. And I had to beg. I was like, did you go to that extent? Is it Ali or you know, and she was really pissed. So I would say settling conflict for me, because of my kind of personality, I can be quite flexible. So let's talk it out. Reach out to me and apologize, as long as you understand that you made a mistake here. And I think my approach was the very as I said, vulnerability for me is the best way to win my heart. So just say, oh, my approach here was wrong. This is what I think I would have done better. I'm apologizing. Can we get it all, you know? And I would gladly move on and help. I think I've helped there. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for bringing so much clarity into the questions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.